Let's call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum present, and let us take a moment of silence for the invocation. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As was stated, we do have a quorum. Clerk, could I get you to read the rules?
Individuals wishing to speak on agenda items must complete a sign-up card prior to the item being introduced. Sign-up cards are available on the table. Individuals wishing to speak on non-agenda items may do so under petitions and requests. No sign-up card is required. Citizens will be given 3 minutes to speak on all agenda items. All sign-up cards and exhibits being submitted to the CRA shall be placed in the box on the table.
Thank you so very much. I need a motion to approve the minutes from 12/24 March.
I'll move to approve the minutes from 12/24.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Call for questions. Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you. City Manager.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and CRA board members. We are on old business item 7A. This is the FY 2023 City of Titusville Community Redevelopment Agency Annual Report. The CRA Annual Report of Activities was provided and approved by the CRA without the financial audit section, as the financial audit was not complete in time for the 12 March 2024 meeting. The financial audit has been received and added to the annual report. The FY 2023 annual report was provided to the City Council at their meeting on 26 March and was approved. The annual report was mailed to the other taxing authorities to meet the state statute requirements. Staff is recommending that you accept the FY 2023 City of Titusville Community Redevelopment Agency annual report with the added financial audit.
Thank you, City Manager. And does anyone have any questions or concerns about the annual report?
One question, no concerns. Is there anything materially different from what we got before?
No, ma'am. The only reason why we did attach the annual report is because, if you recall, there were two highlighted items where it said needed audit information. So we just wanted to see, for you all to see the actual completed package.
Okay, thank you.
No other. I need a motion to accept the financial. I don't have.
I have no cards.
Public comment. Are there any? No cards? I need a motion to accept the fiscal year 2023 City of Titusville CRA annual report.
So moved.
Second.
The motion has been made and second. Calling for question. Hearing none. Call for a vote. All is called for a vote. Roll call.
Member Aker?
Yes.
Member Cole?
Yes.
Member Nelson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Robinson?
Yes.
Member Ball?
Yes.
Member Sokol?
Yes.
The motion has been accepted. On line item B, new business.
New business on item 8A is the FY 2025 Community Redevelopment Agency proposed preliminary budget. Staff has prepared the preliminary budget for the FY 25 CRA budget. Direction from the board tonight is requested. The proposed capital improvement projects include trail town amenities, replacing the directional signage with new design, and replacing the shade sails in the commons areas, building renovation grants, sidewalk improvements, and the Broad Street parking creation. Right now, Broad Street doesn't have any parking lines on there. We're going to put some lines out there. Staff has a presentation for you on this preliminary budget. This is your first bite at it. As you've gone through the budget process before, we just have to plug these numbers into the bigger budget, And we will come back to you with any changes or modifications that the board will be making tonight. And with that, Sue?
Good evening. Let's see, there we go. So the budget process, the current presentation is to obtain direction from the board for fiscal year 2025. The CRA budget will be included in the city's proposed budget, submittal date of 4/15 to the Finance Department. Changes can be based on input tonight from the CRA board. The information provided is based on a very rough preliminary revenue estimate with no change in tax increment revenue from FY 2024. Staff will provide budget updates to the CRA for review at future meetings based on property tax value information received from the Brevard County Property Appraiser, proposed millage rate, and the direction provided by city management and the Finance Budgeting Division. The CRA has personnel, operating, debt service, and capital expenses. Capital expenses can often be multi-year projects such as a Spaceview Park Pier. On the estimated revenues, as you can see, the rollover operating fund 10400. When we get down into the TIF, the estimated TIF revenues, the city is $759,375. The estimated TIF from the county is $330,781 for a total of $1,090,156. The debt service is the US 1 corridor project. So you can see that we've, that's $120,949, and so that is the total. Personnel, training, and expenses. The redevelopment planner, and this has changed a little bit. I don't know if you recall last year, the reason why this line item has changed is that we're removing the contracted landscaping company and bringing 2 maintenance workers in-house for a higher level of maintenance service. So you'll see that the redevelopment planner, that line item has come up because of 2 additional new workers proposed in-house maintenance. The professional services are community policing, which is $35,000, travel per diem, $2,000, communications, $480, general fund admin charge, that's to be determined by finances, $41,600. Maintenance activities, this is where you'll see a difference from last year because this has been lowered. The US 1 lights and irrigation right-of-way, $55,000. And then this part is one that's been lowered, the CRA maintenance, additional plants is $32,000 that used to have the contracted amount in there added with it. The promotional, downtown welcome center, information, directly maps, et cetera, is $4,000 and supplies $500. And then books, memberships, et cetera, which is FRA, APA, DO state mandatory regulations for $1,500 for a total of $452.80. Summary snapshot. So there's the total number again of revenue, $1,090,156. Debt service of $129.49. Personnel operating $452.80. And the funding available for projects then comes to $517,127. This has been broken down and is a little bit different than what you saw that was first emailed out to you. The difference being in the sidewalk improvement phase, we had $237,127, which was 80% of the project. After reviewing and going through past history, we wanted to make sure that we had some funds in the utilities infrastructure and the stormwater infrastructure. So those were added in. That $100,000 was taken from the sidewalk improvements. So now the sidewalk improvements will be funded at 50% of the estimated total. So your building grant programs is remaining at $100,000. Trail Town amenities at $110,000. The increase in that are for the shade structures. They are in need of replacement, and we've gotten some quotes on that. And then also the new design that you all have chosen for the wayfinding signs. There's, I believe, seven signs, and we've got the cost to replace them, so that's why that has been increased, so we can get it all branded out there. And then the Broad Street parking spaces for 70,000. That might alter a little bit. You'll see that if it does, it will come back to you. But right now, it's totaling at 517,127. And I'm open and available for any questions.
Members, any questions, concerns?
Question? Sure. Sue, the number that you gave us, the 1,090,000, that's a rough estimate based on last year.
Yes, ma'am.
So we should expect that to go up a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, how do you feel, how does the CRA feel about maybe, and I don't know how much it would cost, but maybe adding a couple of extra tree boxes downtown? We have a grant for it. At least looking at it, might not work, might be too expensive, but I'm sort of like having trees in the downtown area would be really pretty.
You,
So that's my thought.
all right. You have any specific place you were thinking about locating these trees if we go with it?
I don't have a particular place. I know they were going to do it, it was out for design. So I'm assuming when it goes out for design, they'll come back with, these are the places we can put them. And if we're going along, say, Main Street, put another tree at the end. You know.
Okay.
No,
Member
I
Stokel.
don't have a specific.
So this would be our time to kind of share ideas for the budget if things, okay.
Yes, yes, and I can address some of the tree box if you'd like. Okay,
Please.
currently there are 3 grants for, in design.
Okay.
And they are in the Commons, Brevard, and Grace. And all 3 of those are grants. So
Okay.
those are all 3 in design at this time.
Do we have an idea of how much it would cost, or it is costing per tree box? Rough idea.
No, I think we projected between 35 and 50,000 per box.
Okay. That's expensive.
Yeah, and the grants, I think, are for all of them approximately 200,000, all different locations.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Very. Member Stokel.
Okay. So I think you actually, I jotted down some ideas and then I think you addressed some of them. So a few things that I was thinking about in terms of the budget. One, I've heard consistent concerns about trash pickup in the downtown area, specifically regarding the parks, especially as we're having more rocket launches. I think we're having a lot more people now that we're getting that connecting pier. I would like to see, again, this depends on the rest of the board, but my personal opinion would be to see more trash pickup in the parks. And then also from the restaurants, I've heard some concerns about, I think we're getting more movement in the downtown area, that the trash dumpsters are getting full often. I still don't like the idea of renovating our vacant areas and buildings, and I think we're continuing to do that. Lighting seems to be something that we've addressed before on the board, so I'm thankful for that we've done that. You mentioned the shade structures, the directory signage. Parking signage is still something I would like to see where we can kind of highlight, hey, you won't be towed if you park here, essentially, whatever that would look like.
Yeah, can I get a little clarification on that? Because we are working on that. You gave us direction on the last meeting. Are you really looking for where parking is available, signs for where parking is available for people, so they know where to park?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I think some of us that are local to the area, we know where we could park without getting towed. But I feel like as people are visiting our community, they might be a little bit fearful, like, oh, can I park here or not? Continuing to highlight the trails as those start to hopefully become more popular. And then lastly, I feel like I always bring this one up. I still would like to do something kind of creative in our downtown area, whether it's like little rockets that people have to find hidden throughout, something that's unique to our downtown area that makes us a little bit special that people can kind of have fun with. Okay, I think that's all the things I had.
Thank you.
Member Ball.
Just one comment on, I think those are all great ideas. I would probably ask the downtown planner, or maybe with some input from council, to give us an opinion back as to whether something like upping the trash collection, which is an operational expense, is an allowable expense for under the CRA plan. It might be. I'm not saying. I think it's a great idea to do it, but I would ask to confirm that. The only thing I think we need to continue to keep in our forward vision is how do we improve pedestrian and traffic safety? I mean, we keep hearing accidents at, it seems like the worst intersection in the city, and it may not be, is at US 1 and Washington or Hopkins. I mean, Washington and Hopkins at Garden Street.
It's one of our,
And it's
it's
just
one of our
like-
most accident areas. Now, you remember a few years ago, FDOT has proposed a double roundabouts there, so I don't know if that's going to work or not.
And I don't know if that's a CRA, if it's on us to try to find, improve traffic safety or pedestrian safety solutions and fund those, or if it's, FDOT or something that the city does as part of the general budget. But I continue to be concerned about the pedestrian safety in our busiest sections. There are several blocks, and then the vehiculars is just obvious. I mean, it happens. We see it every few days, it seems. So I don't know how we fit that into the budget, but just in the bucket of good ideas or concerns, or at least ideas that we'd like to see addressed in some way. And that is maybe brick and mortar, depending on what we do. You watch the flashing yellow lights and the pedestrians are a little hesitant, or you see them, hey, we've got this, and they start walking out and the motorists don't quite know what to do. So thank goodness we haven't had a fatality there yet, or a serious injury as far as I know. So maybe they are working.
To follow up question, I know that you're bringing some of the maintenance work in-house on this budget. Will that help with the concerns?
Maintenance being the landscaping, the, trash pickup, and that sort of thing.
Trash, okay. That will be part of that
Yes, sir.
improvement as we bring it in-house?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. Member Nelson?
Can I just say, every morning I go past some poor guy who is out there weeding, and he is so diligent. And I guess his boss is Chuck. I don't know what his name is, but my hat's off to him. I mean, I feel bad when it's hot. I want to take him like a cold drink. But he works so diligently. It's amazing. And the place looks good. It really does. So thank you.
Thank you.
Seeming that seemed to cover it all.
One more thing.
You got,
I just want to echo
Okay.
the maintenance of the
Member
grounds
Aker.
downtown. They're looking better than ever. They're staying up on top of it on a regular basis. The workmen are just great to interact with. I just wanted to give them a shout out for a job well done. It's really looking good. And of course, the garbage downtown continues to be a problem in a couple of areas, and it's just frequency of pickup. We got to somehow get on a regular pickup schedule to alleviate that. At some point, I know this is not a popular thing. I'd love it if there's a way to foresee to possibly pick up some small parcels of property. Even if we're only adding 10 or 12 parking spaces, that might give us the space to add some more places for garbage as well, for the dumpsters as well, to make it a little bit easier downtown. And they haven't commented on we have an opening coming up for the new bridgeway over there.
Yes, sir. They actually finished the Spaceview Observation Walkway Pier. It's done. Our ribbon cutting is planned for April 22nd at 11 o'clock. It'll be right there, and that's when we will open it up officially and take the barriers down, and hopefully y'all can join us and walk across the new bridge.
It's exciting. We got something done. Yay.
All right, that seemed to cover it. And I know that this was presented to us because you were seeking direction. How do you feel?
I feel very good.
All right.
Yeah.
Any more directions to be added to what has already been suggested and presented? Seeing none, hearing none, call for petitions and public.
There's one card, Tony Schiflo.
Right.
Tony Schifolo, 715 Tropic Street. Until Member Stokel mentioned fun things like finding little rockets, I heard no mention at all about the arts or any fun things at all. And I realize you have a lot of big things in your budget: trash pickup, road maintenance, landscaping downtown. But I really think you need to start thinking about having something fun happening for the Titusville residents again that maybe will pull generational and racial groups together again and make downtown a little bit more vibrant even before we get the big theater that Stephen and the Titusville Playhouse is proposing. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Any more?
No more cards.
No more cards. We leave down line item 10, Executive Director report.
Any petitions and requests? I
That was,
think that was a card.
petition and request.
Yes. Now, what I came for. Tony Schifolo, I came as a not quite officially sanctioned, but definitely a full member of the Titusville Historic Preservation Board. And I want, since you guys get the minutes of all our meetings, I'm very certain that you're totally aware of everything that the Historic Preservation Board is doing, especially our Joinerville and Beyond project. And we're having the kickoff informational gathering and kind of a neighborhood festival kind of atmosphere, I think, on April 29th. And I'm not going to waste my 3 minutes because about the event, it's over at the Brevard Senior Center. Get the details from your staff. I want to tell you about the project itself. The project involves comprehensive research and documentation of the history, events, and landmarks within the city's historic African-American neighborhood and Lost Commercial District, located south of South Street, De Leon to the west, the river to the east, and 3rd Street and beyond to the south. We expect a narrative for future interpretive historic markers and branding, a library of oral histories, mapping of historic sites, and uploading information on the contributing structures to the city's historic webpage, and the Explore Titusville, you know, the little book I always carry around but don't happen to, well, I have a tour book, but not that one. Titusville's African-American neighborhoods are considered significantly underrepresented in the city's history and the preservation efforts. So documenting places of past and current residence and enterprise are the focus of the project that the Historic Preservation Board is undertaking. Many different features and resources have been lost, and this year, or last year or so, we lost one of the locally designated historic houses, the Gibson Rivers House, demolished due to a lack of maintenance and the inability to get the funds to really keep it up. The reason why I mention this is the project goals include researching, recording, publishing, and promoting the history and events of the Joinerville area within the project boundaries, which are dangerously close to the soon-to-be gentrified West Titusville neighborhood. And I want us to document and save and mark as much as we can of that area before the gentrification spills across South Street and really consumes everything. So I'd like to once again invite you to put this on your calendar, get the definite information from Sue about our kickoff event on April 29th. Thank you, and I hope to see y'all there, maybe one at a time so it's sunshine can be good, okay? But it's several hours long. Thank you.
Petitions and requests?
Stan Johnson, you're receiving something that you received before. In fact, council has received it 5 times. And it has to do with the sewage spill September through November 2022 that the city denies. And I sent you an email on this on March the 5th, plus the council and so forth, and FDEP. And the interesting thing that was revealed on March the 5th to you is what I want to call is admission of dishonesty. Admission of dishonesty. So what was sent by Sean Stauffer to FDEP was a letter from me describing the sewage spill that we had with videos and photos of the sewage spill, numerous videos of the photos. Together with that is Mr. Stauffer sent this letter, and this letter says the sewage spill never happened. So I call this an admission of dishonesty by Mr. Stauffer. So I'm asking you to look into it because it's pretty serious. It's a spill into 9 city streets, and I posted it on over a dozen churches, including your church, and on City Hall, police station, county courthouse. Posted it with, I had 3 different red warning notices, 2 of which had skull and crossbones because it's such a serious matter. So I'm asking you to look into it from my letter of March the 5th, and I'm just hoping that that somebody from the city will respond to it. So thank you. And I also want to thank Mr. Cook for something else, in that the solid waste pickup is fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Cook. I just wanted to add that on there. So that's all I have for today. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you. Petition and request? Seeing none?
On to the executive director's report, just a couple of highlights under information items. There will be a resurfacing project that FDOT will be doing on US 1, North Washington Avenue, South Hopkins Avenue, from the FEC Railroad to Grace Street in Titusville. The resurfacing is a $3.9 million project scheduled to begin in early 2025. It also contains some pedestrian safety enhancements with that construction. Second is the capital projects continue, with the Force Main project being the biggest one that's visible right now, estimated to be done sometime this summer. Subject to your questions.
Members, any questions?
Real quick, so are we going to will we see a scope? Is a scope developed for that project, the FDOT US 1 project? Is it just a resurfacing? I mean, is it as simple as that?
Yeah, it's a resurfacing. They're redoing the traffic signal cabinets, and they're adding additional lighting at South Street. So that's as far as I know right now. But.
Meeting adjourned.